is absolute dynamite. And boom, it goes.
And boom, the layup goes. Slusta and Dekran are on the move. To Dekran! London Invite on Free Friendly Friday, coming at your screens. Some of the best in the world in the mixed division today on Free Friendly Friday. Hitting it out, the Tokay Super Team taking on Deep Space, two-time European champions. They were not in the tournament, with some chagrin about it, but they are happy to be here as to be part of the tournament, get a hit out against the greatest team in the world ever put together. In fact, the Tokay Super Team, and all that action is about to unfold in front of you in just a moment's time. My name's Stefan Rapazzo, alongside Amelia Durbin. Derbs, how's it all going today?
It's been an absolutely fantastic day. Got here nice and early, 8:45. Been here all day, working my actual corporate day job, but doing some in and out of that, helping set up. So excited for the weekend. We've had some great games on this Free Friday, and we've got another game to come. What I will say, it feels generous calling it Deep Space. They're kind of almost only just half a team, so whether we want to call them Deep or just Space, because they're missing people, whereas the Super Team are obviously out almost in full force.
Almost. We got Sarah Eklund towards the end of the last game. She was, to some end, the spark that kicked off the second half comeback by the Tokay Super Team. Manuela Cardenas has arrived on site, but only just, and wisely will not rush herself into this one. Will get some physio, do some warming up, keep the body warm, and be ready for the real action tomorrow. Of course, Laura Ospina will be joining tomorrow. There were some visa difficulties that we are very grateful to have jumped the hurdle. And Alex Atkins has suffered an injury that makes him unable, and we have secured the services of Ben Oort, the Dutchman, another Groot member, to come and join on very little notice. So excited to put him into the fold. We will have the 20 we anticipated one way or another.
With one loss comes another game. That's a great pickup for the Super Team. This is probably going to be a game that I assume those watching at home are going to have an expectation of how it's going to be. But let us see if Deep Space can come here on this Friday evening and prove the naysayers wrong. We know that Deep Space are a fantastic side. They've had some real dominance on the European scene over the last 2 years. Had a bit of a struggle a couple of weekends ago at the Elite Invite over in Belgium, but they do have quite a good group of people this year, and I think that integration is going to take a little bit longer than perhaps they would like. However, it's a long season, and this is a great opportunity for them to play against the best in the world and kind of benchmark themselves against that.
And that's exactly what you want. This opportunity, how often do you get it? That's why they were, kicking and screaming to find a way into this tournament. They will take this no matter what. No full roster, no shame. They're going to come swinging, do their best, and they're going to have to. Super Team did hit stride in the second half. The roster is star-studded, built for demolition, Derbs. And, some of those people at home might expect that. In the booth, we're totally neutral here, no bias. Even me, the general manager of the team, definitely no belief that we are absolutely going to steamroll them. That is not what I believe.
Well, games aren't too long, so if they do steamroll them, it'll be in the hour window that we've got here this evening. Score to 13. How many timeouts we had? We've had every game has sort of had a different timeout set at the moment. Steph, you're in charge.
I am. I'm not sure how many timeouts there are in this one, even being in charge, but we will try and figure it out. We're also looking into Derbs' mic here and trying to sort things out. Katie working around the clock here, doing all things on cameras and buttons and cables, so we'll do our best to sort that out. In the meantime, Derbs is going to keep bringing you the action, as will I.
I'll keep contributing where I can. I'm sorry about my mic. Christina Slutzer walking with the disc in hand. Next Palmer.
Quinn Finer to Tlusta. Oh, look at this is nice. That is a great connection between those two. Johnson go back to Tlusta. Tlusta settles. Now goes to Johnson go. He goes around, and Christina Tlusta was every other there, and that is what she does so well. Gets a high five from Manuela Cardenas, who's just arrived, and happy to be the first to congratulate, but Tlusta was just doing what Tlusta does.
Yeah, you can watch it again in the replay. That's a really tough matchup for Bex to draw first point, especially when they've clearly gone on the line right. We're going to play Slutster ball, and you can see Manu giving a high five, probably thinking, hey, that looks like me.
Yeah, I want to play with that. I can't wait to say. And I didn't know if that was a yoga move or she put the hand up for high five and got iced. In any sense, Christina came back, and that high five did happen. Alana Archer, Lanzi. I know she'll be doing some guest commentary over the course of the weekend. Not guest commentary, she's on the commentary team as of from tomorrow onward. So excited to get her in as she's getting her run in before it all begins in the booth for her.
Nice little bit of a Friday leg stretch as we see the deep space O-line out there. Even with a slightly reduced roster, they are obviously trying to stay somewhat clear in their pods. So Outyard, Bailey, Squires, Katma, and Cordrin, they're all kind of very experienced O-line players. Rosie and Katma new this season, but this is the O-line that they were playing at Elite Invite. It's just Ellis and Sloan that I think have been brought over just to compensate the line for this tournament, because obviously they are missing a lot of people for this Friday night game.
Well, here we go. Deep space with their first attacking possession. Squires kicks it over into the corner. And Squires again. Far sideline just kept off the ground and then bladed up and over. Heck of a grab. Bailey looks to the back, the dump space. Codrin and Sloan. Now fires Squires. Back to Codrin. Codrin tries to settle. All eyes upfield. Blades over top and around and in. And nice clean hold, Rosie Bailey, and deep space hold for a goal.
It's really good spacing by deep space there, being able to move the disc left to right with some kind of over-the-top expansive throws. Good movement, and you know the Tokay Super team stayed in that zone the whole way down. They were pressuring it here. So you see Squires popping it over to Cordrin, who looks some good tempo downfield, finds Sloan all alone over there, and then Bailey just finding the space behind Legala there. That is a good example of pretty casual zone offense. And so deep space, feeling good, looking good. 1-1.
And as we said, free, friendly Friday. All the action for free for you. It's a great day for these teams to kind of work out some kinks and get things going as best possible. A great way for us in the broadcast to be able to do that for you, bring you the free action. We love everything you're doing. And if you would like more, we will bring you more as we continue to improve and get better with these teams. And to do that, you hit the join button. If you don't see it there, the 3 dots in the top right corner, and that will give you some menu options for more London Invite. And you can invest to get yourself all of the games on the weekend, 30 more games than the 15 that will be free beyond what we're giving you today on Free Friday.
You lucky ducks.
Well, Leshnik and Dameron kick things off. Buja. Jorge goes back to Ben Dameron. Buja near sideline, and Dameron, those two cooking now, and the small ball is definitely live and kicking in Tokay Super Team world. Buja. Dameron, look at this dominator set between these three. Kametsova finally enters the picture, arms wide open. Kametsova and Dameron exchange again. Quick movement, no stall counts thus far in the possession with a great sequence of throws. Buja exchanges through Whitlock and back again to the big Kiwi. Leshnik fakes the hammer. And our first slowdown as they enter the red zone. We get a stall count, and there was a chance for Archer, a chance for Tlusta, but it was the Swede sensation, Sara Eklund, who comes up with a goal and makes it 2-1 for the Tokay Super Team.
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication, some peel-off defense, but Tokay Super Team get it in the end zone. You can see it again on the replay here. A little bit of small ball. Lesnick says no, fakes the hammer, finds the shot through the middle. Fish, good handler defense there. Quite static, but off they go. Slutzer kind of bails out of it, but Eklund obviously calls for it to be mine, and that is a goal for Super Team. You were talking about free games and whatnot just a couple of seconds ago. Here's a question for you for some free insight as the general manager of this team. What are they doing regarding the offense and the defensive lines? You've got 20 star players. What's the plan?
I'm not telling you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm happy to share. You can try and stop us. We'll tell you, we're front page news around here. But the truth is we have a complex series. We started off making 9 specialty lines, including an O and split D lines. We had some offensive bigs and defensive big combinations, offensive speed, defensive speed. We had an all throwing line that we put together. These are all things we can draw upon. Then we have a pair of split lines that we can use. And those will adapt each and every game. So that line calling is the most complex part of what Tokay Super Team will be doing. And I challenge you to try and identify what we're doing out there and say, oh, this is that line or that line.
If you could give me the lines, I could probably give you a good guess.
Well, I just gave you the lines.
But, that's true. Written down. I've got the brain of a pea.
I gave you the line titles. And beyond that, I won't give too much more. As Max Squires walks to the line, points deep, and then shoots to the far sideline. Blade now scuba over the top into traffic, but collected handily as such. Back to Cadrin. Cadrin gives the backhand. Thought it stuck to the hand there for a second, but it did come out well. Sloan back to Cadrin. Cadrin motions the upline backhand, resets in the middle. Tokay Super Team showing a zone. This is the first, well, the second, but none in the prior game. So first time they have really stuck with a zone and kind of committed to a zone. I think it's a good idea. Rosie Bailey with a disc. Bailey back to Cadrin. Cadrin blades over top. Bailey.
Really nice movement from deep space. Super composed, just really taking their time. But Sloan.
And a bit of contact there. I don't think anything overly dangerous. I know Floor Collards attack space very hard.
Yeah,
they
I
both
think that's just
went for that disc. I think Floor just took the brunt of it. I really hope she's okay. They're back and playing, and the goal scored to Ben Andrews. One throw later. Everybody happy. Sometimes in mixed ultimate, those kind of collisions do happen, and they get to, you kind of hold your heart in your hand and hope everything's going to be okay. I'm so glad to see Floor pop up. She is as tough as they come.
Yeah, I gasped when you see a player go down after kind of bashing like that. You're always worried that there's something's going to be, broken or bruised badly. But Kularts is someone who's been playing mixed for so long, obviously now playing in the women's division with the Groot after they broke up, should we say. But from all those years playing mixed, is so brave and can take some absolute hits.
Takes a lick and keeps on ticking. But Tokay Super Team Deep Space, they see Manu Cardenas, one of the greatest players in the world, in many people's estimation, most certainly mine. A huge fan of both those twins. Super stoked to have her joining this team this year. Last year Vale, this year Manu, next year both is the plan. Try to get those two on the same tour together. And of course they are, that Manu, definitely she was keen on being on this team, but she's like, we need more Colombians. If I'm coming, like we're so good, we don't get the chance. If I'm coming, we all want to be there. And she recommended, Ospina's like, yeah, done, of course. Jorge Buja. I was like, who's Buja? And she's like, he's awesome. Trust me, he's going to make Colombia World Teams. This guy's awesome. You got to take this guy. And you get a recommendation like that from Manuela Cardenas. It's like, yep, I got you.
And from what I've seen so far, he is
yeah,
awesome.
Backing it up.
Really kind of stood out for me in the previous game.
Plusta finds Jack Hatchett, the veteran, one of the captains of this team. Sada Yeklin goes back to Ben Dameron and up quickly to Kometsova. Dameron fires. It is Hatchett on the chase and perfect. Riding the line in for a goal, and we're going tit for tat, Holden all the way along.
This is a good tradey game. Teams obviously having to adjust based on what the defense is being thrown at them, but then what they're adjusting to still looks very, very clean. The first maybe 3 seconds of that point maybe looked a little bit, but after that they found their flow. Kometsova just free on the end zone, dishes it off, and then Uiz with a beautiful inside-out flick to a very, very free player, completely unguardable. That is really nice from the super team.
Now, as we watch this again, the finishing touches on this point, we've been talking a lot about joining as a member. There's more. We're giving more. We have MMA that was introduced this morning as what will be happening, Mori match analysis. And if you can tell by my accent impressions, that's a Davide Mori. We'll be doing post-game. He's staying up. He's watching all the games from Bologna. He'll stay up tonight and do some analysis. We've got him working with some editors, and we'll be posting Davide's opinions, impressions, analysis of what's happening here tomorrow morning as you take a look at one of the studs from pod practice there, Alex Atkins. And now, Carmen Lagala in her trademark Stegosaurus hat.
Iconic.
That pull rolls and picked up. And deep space, go to Cadrin. Sloan. Ellis. She likes the Tokay Super Team sunglass style. She's wearing the same thing.
Feeling cool. Look good, feel good, play good.
You better believe it. Sloan. Backhands across. And Squires in the middle of the field. Cadrin. A couple of big marks at the front of the Tokay Super Team zone, but they are managing a way around in Tanner Johnson-Go and Jakob Tam. And that one floats, and Squires has all sorts of time. And looking upfield with feet on the sideline. Centers to Ellis.
You just got to stay composed here. This is a zone that the Tokay Super Team are wanting space to make their own mistake. And they've got to stay composed because they're doing a really, really good job so far. And there it is. You see them get bored. They take a risky option. And I would not be surprised to see Super Team capitalize on this.
Tanner Johnson go to Angela Zhu and the break chance. First one availed in the game, the first turnover. And they've given it back. Tognetti says that one's on me. He knew he got his hand there. And let's see if they play zone again or if they will stay matched, Shirley. And goodness, he took a great high take there and unable to get the next throw to stick.
Yeah, the wind is going quite aggressively downwind there, but Katma just kind of made that quite wet, I think is probably the only way to describe it. It's kind of flubbed out the hand.
Lola Dam to Lagala up the far sideline. Lagala lashes it out. Coulart's the intended target. Coulart's the goal scorer and the break. But how about that throw from Carmen Lagala?
Carmen Lagala is an absolute threat wherever you put her on the field. In the underspace, as a hooker, as a receiver, as a handler mark, Lagala can really do it all. And that is a very, very good example of that. It's going to be difficult to see how Space respond to this now because obviously the wind direction is going to change for them. They're now playing on offense in the opposite direction to what they were. And then in response to that, what will the Tokay Super Team do defensively? As much as I love zones, bit boring.
Bit boring. Match defense makes things much more exciting. We've got a timeout on the field. That's the first thing that we know that's happening. And while these teams get a chance to huddle up, see what's working for them, we'll get one more last look at the chase down there for Floor, but really the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful throw by Carmen Lagala. What about those beautiful, beautiful jerseys right now, too? They look good. VC clad are the Tokay Super Team.
Yeah, VC
And
providing the
with
goods.
that timeout, we'll take a short break here too and be back with more action from London Invite. Tokay, Super Team 4, Deep Space 2. Early going in this one on Free Friday. Thank you for joining us here. I'm Stefan Ravazzo alongside Amelia Durbin. Durb's not a naturalized Londoner. You're from Bristol. You live in Bristol, but you know this town. You know your way around London.
I know my way around the tube map, yeah. Me and Connor spend a lot of time here. Mickael, featuring on the Super Team. I know he's very excited for this opportunity. Thrilled, almost.
Thrilled. Well,
For him,
I mean,
this is his World Games.
he didn't play for Clapham. And, to take a break from a team like Clapham, probably doesn't really love giving people hall passes, so to speak. Means he probably, pleaded his case and said, come on, guys, this one is something. So in any sense that you see him playing some air drums on the sideline or walking towards the sideline, but Connor Mickael, one of the many, is hand-picked superstars. And to see, if the momentum and prowess from last year could carry over to an even bigger stage. And Friendly Friday so far has been good to us. Let's see. This game is certainly not over as Squires catches the pole and into Sloan. Nice hands to keep it alive. And Squires. Cadron, quick movement, but a little too quick. And a Super Team chance, Buja on the pickup.
I think that was just another change of direction throwing error.
Slusta to Kometsova, the Czech to the Slovak, and then back the other way. Buja goes around and thought he had something that wasn't there.
Miscommunication, that's two break opportunities for Super Team that they've not been able to capitalize on, but I'm sure that that's only going to improve as the weekend go on. We see Bailey on the disc going to Ellis.
And it seems like Super Team have gone back into a zone. Great turnaround there, but the long arm of the law, Nick Whitlock, he has been playing out of his mind and then throws the dime to Jack Hatchett, and there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, I think after that, Deep Space were experiencing quite a lot of mismatches where male matching players were in the spaces where the female matching players were, and I think that's what caused that error there, because you see Ellis marking a male matching player as they go deep.
Hatchet straight into the chair for the celebration there. Whitlock was getting the name Kiwi Gak at the last Aussie Nationals because he was playing for Sunder. Look at this takeaway. Oh, and I thought he was going with his left hand. He went with the right to prevent contact. Pivot foot, dime. Look at that. Whitlock. Kiwi, Gak. Put your beers in the chili bun, mate.
Very good. Very good. It's a good throw from Ellis, but Whitlock just kind of really has a read on it the whole way around, and that is textbook example of how to control your body when getting a block. Not even an ounce, a whisper of a touch that could have done any harm, and then an unguardable huck onto the break side. Really, really nice to see. Super Team, one game done, one game won. Second right now looking good.
Looking good. They're certainly stepping up. I like that they're playing zone. We did, hear me showing my cards, but we're probably not going to get a chance to work on zone. We're probably not going to get a chance. And I like that they came into this one and said, yeah, hey, this is the right conditions, potentially the right opponent. It's still Free Friday. These games don't count. Let's come out, run a little bit of zone. And, even 2 points, 3 points, who knows how many they play. But at least in a game that matters, if they got to say, hey, we got to change things up here. Well, they've done it once now. They've done it twice now. They got a little bit of they got a rep. which is better than none.
Better than none. And as things are looking, to be honest, it's going to be a bit of a windy weekend, so I wouldn't be surprised to see there. We might not get many chances to do it. Suddenly become, oh, we should probably do it a bit more.
We're relying on it now. And that pull goes out. It was by Tognetti. He had one of the greatest pulls I've ever seen that started the comeback for the Tokay Super Team in the earlier game against Canada. If you haven't watched that, make sure you do go back. It was a cracking game. Fish gets to the point and sends it forward to Turner. Turner to Fisher. Far sideline. And can't get it off. Throws a hope and a prayer, and Tognetti's the biggest one in the middle and takes it down. Kullarts to Mickael. Mickael fires, and Tognetti just speeds up and in for another goal. The Tokay Super Team starting to cook now, 6-2 on deep space.
Yeah, really interesting bailout throw there. Kind of really lofts it up and pops it in the wind, which doesn't really make sense, I'm going to be honest. We see the offensive look here. Oh, that's from earlier. That's Kullarts getting her first goal. That was the first break for the Super Team.
And then there he is, Connor Mickael, leading to the corner. And Tognetti, those two have never had a chance to play together. They were saying yesterday they've played against each other many times, but they don't match up against one another all that often.
Well, I was saying this yesterday that I'm currently playing with the GB Women's Masters team. There's a lot of players from Iceni on it, and I find playing with them significantly easier than I thought I would, because I'm so used to matching up against them. I know how they play, and I imagine that's what this super team is like, specifically maybe for the Europeans who play each other quite regularly, which is I know how you move, I know how you reset the disc, I know the kind of throws you're looking for, and you're able to respond with them as a teammate rather than as a defender. It's quite nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's such a great opportunity.
So we see them in their little perky shorts.
They're nice, the shorts.
They're lovely. Nice colour, slightly like a steely
Silvery
grey.
Yes.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah,
Purple.
I love them so much.
When you were selecting your colour palette, walk me through.
Well, I mean, the Tokay color palette is like kind of what we start working with. So the blue is the Tokay font blue.
Lovely.
And we wanted something that would jump out on and not be the primary color. And yeah, purple, I've been loving purple this year. I helped with the design for the bling kit. And that is a nice throw there by Squires to Fisher. And from there, we just kept going, though. But yeah, that's kind of where it all started, Derbs. The Tokay color palette is another one given up, and Buja goes to the middle to Dameron and back to Buja. And these two handlers are getting reps together and really looking good together. Now the big fella, Whitlock, goes to Leshnik going down, and she doesn't mind doing that at all. Buja fills the gap. Motions, thought about jamming it into the jam hole, but more wisely goes around to Aurora Leshnik, who does what Aurora Leshnik does best. Now Kometsova and wide open in the corner, Ben Dameron. But how about the Slovenian sensation, Aurora Leshnik, doing it, just chucking that body around with reckless abandon.
Yeah, twice in a row, really running that offensive look there, just absolutely sends herself to the kind of sandy patch, probably the best place to do it. Great from Super Team. Deep space feeling a little bit frustrated, and you can see that in the errors that they're making. Let's take another look at it here. Leshnik goes down once with a very, very safe grab. Buja just can't hit down the line. Some good spacing by Leshnik. Out she goes. That is fantastic. Throws from the ground to Kometsova, and then just an easy goal to Dameron. That is really nice from the Super Team. You can see the defense from deep space just not able to contain almost everyone looking at the layout thinking, oh, that was so good, and then Squires just not able to connect.
It's what is vintage Aurora Leshnik nowadays, like the legs spread, kind of like spread eagle ski move layout, where she kind of, the body goes forward, the legs are in wind drag mode, taking up a lot of space, and it's the best watching Aurora Leshnik take off like that.
Leshnik is a legend and all well deserved. After a very, very long career break, to come back and be able to shine like she has been shining is inspirational to all of us. So shout out Aurora Leshnik, you are a legend and you're so young. We've got so many years to come as well with you.
Sandwell kicks off the possession, Turner up the line, and nice play there made. Turner again. Turner splits the field. Baker goes back to Sandwell. Now a big one from the corner, but it's Angela Zhu getting in the way, and she will take her time walking to the front line. The Tokay Super Team defense, particularly with the match, is getting very tight and giving problems to deep space. Collarts to Tam. Tam blasted deep, looking for Feiner, and he's gonna find the back line, but with some competition, and Turner maybe got a touch, but the back line was coming a bit too soon.
Great bid from Turner. Moving over from Chevron for many, many years now, playing mixed, played GB mixed last year in Australia. Definitely does get a touch on that. Not sure whether it was needed as to whether the end zone line at the back was going to be the third defender in that.
Yeah, I think even if Feiner could have, fingertipped that, he would have come down with a very unlikely chance for a toe drag. It was really pushing back line.
Yeah, Palmer with the disc, coming back now to the UK after a good couple of years in Australia. Was on that Australian side that fell in the bronze medal game to France in Australia, but an amazing player of Reading fame and now playing on the rival side in deep space. As we see Turner and Feiner go battle, and the battle is won this time by Feiner, and that is a front of the end zone opportunity. But we see Zhu having gone down pretty hard. Not sure what happened there.
I'm not sure I saw her go down, but certainly slow to get back up. She's going to call the injury, I believe. Yes, she is. And
oh, that's quite a limp.
Slow to get going. We will hope for the best for her. She opts not for the help and slowly moves her way to the sideline. One of the captains of this team, one of the returning players. And yeah, one of the best as far as I'm concerned. I was so happy to see her back. Unfortunately, I hated to see her back because it means she wasn't selected to a team that I thought she certainly deserved to be on.
Well, she'll be out for blood in that USA match tomorrow.
People will be watching that one, I bet you. Collarts from Mickael right on the line, and the goal sorted out very quickly after the stoppage there. 8-2, Tokay Super Team charging ahead now on deep space. That's 6 in a row.
6 in a row is pretty punishing. 8-2 is not a particularly nice scoreline, especially in half an hour. We see Collarts kind of open herself through a really nice isolation cut. Mickael just able to dish one quite easily to the front of the end zone. It's difficult when you go down in a game to know kind of how to respond, and I think deep space, again, they are coming out with not their full roster. I don't think they've got all of their leadership core here, so probably did always come out with a disadvantage, but they're going to want to say in this timeout circle, hey, come on, let's sharpen up, let's put out a better show, and it's actually half time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see deep space hopefully come back with a little bit more energy, a little bit more ferocity, and kind of put on a show here and do their best against a team like the Tokay Super Team.
With that said, we will take a short break for halftime. We'll be back with more action from London Invite.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
spaceships from Mars? No, they're Frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
I worked for a Michelin star chef making gelato in Paris. I had my own restaurant in Nicaragua and a food truck in Australia. Why wouldn't you watch me? Check out my YouTube channel.
It's 8-2 here in London. The Grasshoppers RFC, Tokay SuperTeam, taking on Deep Space. And it is the SuperTeam with a handy lead right now, 8-2 as mentioned.
Tokay SuperTeam putting on a very dominant performance here on Friday evening. For those watching all over the world, it's 7 o'clock here in the UK, just about 3 minutes past. We had a very, very warm day and it's quite humid at the moment, so players that have been here probably feeling a little bit fatigued, even if they didn't play very much. It's just been warm.
Yeah, even just being on mics, walking around, doing some work, it is a hot day. We definitely feel it, and the players that much more. But this weather's actually really nice now, even though a little bit muggy from it. It's with the cloud cover and the breeze, it's quite nice at this moment. Low throw gets through by Deep Space. The around comes. Centered. And pump fakes by Bailey, then to the far side. Ellis. Back to Bailey. Great handler space defense by Tolusta, but Cadron gets free and fires a dart for the end zone. And well read indeed for the goal. Taken down in Deep Space, back on the board. They wanted that one, and great to get their defense back out there.
Yeah, that's better from Deep Space, a little bit more tempo. You can kind of see with the I can't think of the right word. The way that their faces look, their expressions, that they came out with a little bit more fun, a bit more fierceness then, whereas in the last couple of points they were looking a bit scared. You can see by every player just like really determined, really locked in, wanting to bring the heat, and you can see the commitment and the confidence that they played with. And so hopefully that D-line now is feeling fired up. They've got some trust in the O-line back, and they're going to ready and do what they can against this super team line. There's not long left. I don't know if there's enough time or enough legs in the tank for Deep Space to bring it back. However, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This group of Super Team players probably won't ever come back together in this iteration. Deep Space will not get this opportunity again, so really what they can do is take everything they can and learn as much as possible in this next 25 minutes.
That's exactly it. Glorious opportunity, and I think they've stood up well. I mean, as we suggested, Super Team's going to have the edge in this. They're going to have the advantage on too many matchups. But Deep Space came out, made it 2-2. They put another one on now. Like, getting each one of these points is such an achievement for them to be able to, I got a goal against this matchup. I got a goal against the team, whatever. I did this. We strung together this many passes. There's so many positives that they will be taking, and they'll need to take those forward into the European competition this year as a very tight field in European mixed, and they're the two-time champs. They will be circled on many people's schedules in Europe, and didn't have the tidiest of starts to the season. Lola Dam from Tognetti. High release backhand to her Amsterdam teammate, Flor Collarts, and now Tam to Tognetti. Up the middle, big gainer to Dam. Lola spins and waits and then goes high to Finer. He pops off the ground while Blammer to Tam. And Tokay SuperTeam find goal again at the end of the Finer blade hammer. That's a Blammer.
There was a good amount of pressure applied by Deep Space there, but Tokay, SuperTeam, just able to find every single hole possible, even if it didn't necessarily look particularly great. You see here, Finer and Connor run into the same space, pops it over the top to Finer, where Tognetti is definitely in the area, and then the hammer goes, and there's almost like players everywhere. SuperTeam have got nothing to lose, right? And so they're just playing with so much confidence, and every player is playing with the same amount of drive, and you can just see that in every disc is being chased after, every throw is done expertly, and when you can play like that, it's pretty easy.
Pretty easy, pretty fun. I know that is certainly something that these players attest to, is games like these and opportunities like this. It's just it's so fun. You know, watching Team USA show up today and seeing so many members of Tokay SuperTeam and Team USA that played together on Bling. It's so nice to see these new connections and the these friendships forged jubilantly, hugging each other and happy to see each other. It's so great to see Robin, the head of Tokay there. Love the amount that he puts into the sport, keeps giving the wonderful footwear that he keeps putting R&D into, trying to make them better. I don't know. I have an inkling that there might be a new version of Tokay's in the future. Maybe not coming out tomorrow. And you see all those wonderful boots. Of course, Tokay's not mandatory for anyone to wear, but certainly offered this year. Even offered with a shipping in advance so that they could work them in before the game, before the tournament, if that's what they wanted. Many players opted to, and it's great to see many excelling in them out here. They look great, they perform great, and I suggest you get yourself a pair.
Very comfortable is what a lot of the feedback I've got from the Tokay boots. I used to have a pair myself. I didn't end up rebuying them because I got given my pair for free from a friend who didn't get along with them, but I really did like them. I really like them. If you are someone who has toe pain when you play in boots, often because your toe is kind of slamming against the end, or it's too tight around the box of your toe, I really recommend a Tokay boot. There's a lot more room in there, but gives you that same amount of support that a standard Nike or Adidas boot would do. So yeah, I can attest to them. They are a great pair of boots, and you're also supporting a company which is in the Ultimate community and gives money and contributes to the wider community as well. And so it's great to kind of support those local suppliers. And I say local, I mean local to Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah, and local to Europe. French company, French born. As you see the Grudies there, Lola and Floor, who have just been so clutch for so many years in the European, mostly mixed scene, and then, hey, they broke in last year, so hey, we can do this in the women's scene too. And as great as they are, the clutch nature of those two is something I truly admire.
Ballers is how I would describe them.
Yeah, that's another way of putting it. Clutch, ballers. We can come out with a handful of appropriate positive adjectives for those two. Ruth Caudron will walk to the brick mark where Christina Tlusta waits.
Little jog, little high knees. Keep the energy up.
Disc is in. Ooh, Kametsova, a nice little switch there and shut down the lane just as Fish was maybe opening up. Good handler switching between Kametsova and Tlusta. Now the cut gets Kametsova out of the space. Squires comes under, gets two hands on disc.
Just looks like Deep Space is struggling to adjust to the defense that's being thrown at them. There's a lot of narrow window throws. It looks a little bit better now. They found their flow. There it is.
From the sideline back to center. Fisher throws low, but definitely kept in possession. Caudron had a window of opportunity and a great look the other way. Ruth Caudron with a beautiful OI backhand to switch the field.
That's really nice from Cordron to there to identify that Bailey's defender had like stepped off to really guard Katma coming down the line, and again great awareness from Bailey to recognize and connect with Ruth to make eyes. We see it again here. Sloan to Cordron, who makes a really nice undercut. You see Bailey in the top corner there striking, takes the 7 cut. Leshnik kind of just pauses for a second and Bailey is free, and that is again unguardable. All those Tokay Super Team players are towards us. Cordron again actually moved over from Reading a couple of years ago, but has kind of really shone since coming onto the steep space side. And they've obviously given her the development and the opportunities that she maybe needed to like go to the next level, and has since been an absolute like icon in the UK scene. Contributed massively to the GB women's side for the last 2 years, and is going to be on the GB women's beach team that's going to Portugal later this year.
Doing it all. Love to see it. Love to hear it. Stepping up and throws like that leave no wonder why all those opportunities are availing.
I don't want to be someone that tempts fate here, but it's getting a bit...
Don't do it.
I'm getting thunder and lightning.
No, that's not going to happen. Yes, the clouds are dark, and yes, there's a cool breeze coming in, but we shouldn't be saying that. We do not want to tempt fate, and then you just tempted it, Derbs.
If you say it, it's not going to happen.
Okay, perfect. Then keep talking about it. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but I'll take it. Lagala to Mickael. Mickael fires, and it was Kullarts he was after, but she came under just as he let go in deep space with a break chance.
A mistake, unfortunately, by Tokay Super Team. A great throw from Mickael, but a bit of a misconnection as we see Palmer on the disc.
And Lola Dam gets a hand on it. And then Tognetti throws early for Dam, and they get turned inside out.
That was a comedy of errors there.
9-4, deep space disc from their own end.
We watch it again here. Halkyard goes up, can't see it. The disc's in the air for a long time.
Yeah, Lola hit it and didn't really know where it was coming down first. And then Tognetti threw early. We've had 2 cases of that with early throws and open looks, but just not quite the eyes and the communication before the throws. Far sideline, Andrews. Andrews leads forward. Nice hands there by Palmer. Palmer leads up line to Turner. Turner centering Palmer and Kullarts. And it is a catch at the same time. Kullarts is staking her claim. Theoretically, this should stay with the offense. Did Kullarts touch it first? Here's another look.
Oh.
I can see why she believes that. Is it conclusive?
Yeah.
No.
I think, yeah. It's a split second, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a split second.
I think because it's not, yeah, she can send it back. That's probably the best situation.
Watch it again here. It's difficult because their hands tangle up together. So I think actually Palmer gets that first.
Do you? I see. I think it's Palmer's disc. I think it was at best at the same time. But I don't think she got it before, and there's another miscommunication. And I was thankful no collision. I think that was Derbs' scream. It seemed like there was a lot of bodies crossing. And now we go Tognetti to Mickael, Lagala. She fires to the corner, and it's Johnson Go putting the toe down in the end zone. 10-4, roger that.
That was a bit of a messy point from all players. Not the best work. Again, mid-game slum, Tokay are up by quite a lot, maybe having a little bit overexcitement as we see another quite hotly contested disc here. And everyone's just running, and then you see when Mickael gets the disc down to Lagala, the tempo's slowed down. Johnson Go free, just manages to tow it in, and I'm glad that point was over because that was getting scrappy.
I love the final strike by Lagala. Again, we've talked about her. It's the inside-outside huck throw, strike throw. She's getting better and better and better every single time I saw her. I thought, again, the Bling, the beach team, that was a very stacked team playing with superstars. Sometimes it's easy to fade into the paint and kind of take a back seat, just do a bit of this and a bit of that, and don't make mistakes. But no, Lagala stepped up and was hucking and laying out, taking taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, and really making the most of the opportunity.
Well, to me, what stands out about Legala is she's not a loud player. She's not wanting to be the main character. There's no desire to want to be the highest stat counter, and you can just see that. She is just so good that she is someone that contributes massively on a team, but maintains super humble, super chill, always takes the right options, is always brave and committed to bids, and I just think that is a testament to her and her personality.
There's the deep, the pull, not the deep, the pull to Squires, and then Cadron straight back to Max Squires. Squires goes into the middle. Ellis leads, and Whitlock is trying to do some backpacking on Kapma. I say that, but I did think he had great body control to not backpack. Cadron. And Ellis. Wind up by Ellis, and that's taken away at the point. And denial from Super Team. Leshnik to Eklund. Dameron waits for a cut from Buja, and Dameron feeds him in short range right back to Dameron. Around, Buja rises, 2 hands on it. Middle for Tlusta, now someone's free. Leshnik fires, finds, it's Sarah Eklund. And Tokay Super Team make it 11 against Deep Space 4.
Yeah, I think Ellis's huck was swatted away because the wind-up was really long. You could see her kind of like taking a step back, pulling the arm back, and at the point of release, Whitlock was just like, nope, I'll take that one. And then Ellis does try and kind of commit. We see it again here. Just really winds up for quite a long time and is just like immediately denied, and then we see it here. Ellis does a really good job to commit here and try and get the poach block off Slutzer. We see it now, comes forward, really commits, but then Sloan just kind of gets put in the spin cycle by Yeklund, and a goal is scored open side.
I like that poach by Ellis. I think that's the right
you've
move.
got to do that.
When you're that close, like one more centimeter and she gets that block.
Yeah, we might get a second look at it here, like super close.
Yeah, if she's able to throw the body there and bid, I think she gets it. Tough place to do that too. That ends up a contact position situation, but I liked the bid. I also would hate to ever have Nick Whitlock playing defense anywhere near me.
Yeah, him, I imagine, up front in the zone, utterly terrifying. I guess a lot of people think that he would usually be sitting out deep, but if you put him on the force, trap him on the sideline, probably game over, isn't it?
He was very, very impressive this morning as well, or this morning, at the earlier game this afternoon. He was, it's really fun to watch him play. Connor Mickael set to pull.
Having the best time, isn't he? That's a nice pull from Mickael. Sits for a long time, hangs down. Is it going to stay in bounds?
No, misses by 2 feet, so they will get the brick on it. And Fisher takes it to the brick mark. Super happy to see Fish back and really in fine form. Had a injury last year's Elite Invite and has rebounded supremely. Palmer fires and sends, trying to test Lagala, and she puts the jets on and takes away position, and her and her Stegosaurus hat go to Feiner. Feiner to Lagala up the line, backhand, and Carmen Lagala keeps firing. This time she hits Kullarts, not in. Kullarts gets Mickael. Mickael turns, nothing open as yet. Has the dump to Tam, slots it in. Trying to work in tight spaces. They then go around Mickael to Feiner. Feiner waits and goes back to Mickael. Johnson Go finally gets the space, and another great show of patience. There was a few opportunities to force it there. Some nearly open cuts with traffic in the lane, but good waiting, I thought, by the Tokay Super Team.
Yeah, and Johnson Go was free, but Tam was also free. So regardless of what had happened there, whether Johnson Go had stopped his cut, I think Tam would have also got it. So Tokay Super Team opening up a lot of opportunities. You see the huck from Palmer. Lagala does just manage to stick out a hand. I'm not sure whether Baker was kind of going to get there, and that's where we saw Tokay getting a bit stuck, but again, just having the smarts to open up the space and just kind of reset. Mickael using some counter space, and Johnson Go just capitalizing on the mark going in the wrong direction, and that is a goal for the Tokay super team against this deep space side, who have put up a good fight. All things considered, again, they're running off a small roster. It's 7 o'clock on a Friday night. They haven't travelled all over the world to be here, but probably a showing that they're not going to be like thrilled about, but I don't think they should be too disappointed.
No, not at all. They're doing a lot of great things out there.
And it'll be a great confidence builder for them when they go and play against the rest of their European sides. They have had some really, really nice bits of offense. The first 2-3 points when they were coming up against that zone is going to be a huge confidence builder for them to show, hey, no matter what zones are thrown at us and who is throwing the zone against them, if we take our time and our composure, we can slot it in nice and easily. And they've had some really good defensive pressure as well. It's hard to get a turn on this Tokay side, and if you're able to force them to play frantically, that's a testament to the pressure that you are applying.
Puja sends a beautiful big pull. I love Squire's fielding of that pull. Goes right at it. And now Cadron floats one to Bailey. Into Cadron. Cadron, ooh, Eklund was blind, and Kapma takes it, and then Squires. Little ballerina toe down there to keep it alive. Kapma and Squires reconnect. Super team showing another zone, and that one was tried to be put through a little bit too tight of a seam. And they're straight back. Eklund misses Kametsova, and Cadron on the pickup. Kapma back to Squires. And Kapma leans in and then goes all the way around. It looks like it'll work. It does. And deep space strike again.
Deep space are good at recognizing the space on the other side of the field to where they are currently being forced. That's 2 really nice goals where they've just kind of taken it to the break side to a very, very free receiver. They should do that more. Catching the goal there, I believe that is Jack Halkyard. So you see it here. Again, recognizing the counter space, throws the hand up, and just a nice throw from Ryan Kapma, moving over from Lemmings this season to play deep space, commuting down from the Midlands twice a week on the Mondays and the Saturdays, I believe, the deep space train. Nice to see them, and they hold off the game. Obviously, we are only playing to 13 here this evening, and that's 12-5. One thing I do think that your MMA analysis will do, Mr. Davide Mori, is potentially discuss that Tokay Super Team's turnovers in this game have all been when they've all got a bit excited.
Let's see if Mr. Mori picks up on that. He did also say the 3 things he's looking at is an analysis of play, a particular moment that can highlight that, and a drill or something to work on that might be able to help or fix that. So I really like what he's going for in putting on the show. Lagala to Tam. Tam up a bit too high. Nope. Lola Dam goes up where Grandma keeps the peanut butter, takes the disc down, and over to Tognetti. Now Feiner. Feiner wide around, beautiful throw. Dam goes to ground, and there's a pick in the middle of the field.
Dam and Archer staying on the knees to have the discussion, of course. You can't get up. Whoever gets up first is admitting defeat.
Is that how it goes?
Well, you see it. Well, let's have a look here. The pick's being called by Archer. Fair.
Oh, yeah, that's
fair. Disc should go back. But I do think that you see it in Ultimate when there's a call that teams will like hang on to the disc. They both hold it if they think they caught it at the same time, or they'll like reenact it, and I think it's the first person to stop, acting. But the disc is going to stay with Dam, and Arch is going to catch up, which I think is probably fine.
Speaking of fine, Feiner fires, and nothing finer than that. Tognetti with the goal, 13-5. That's a match, and the Tokay Super Team run away with a scoreline 13-5 in a friendly here from London Invite on Friendly Friday.
Friendly Friday indeed. What a fantastic day we've had, and it's only going to get better. Tomorrow we have even more. I believe, actually, Steph, we have told you a porky, because I think Deep Space are saying, can we keep going?
It's not game over. Maybe we're playing to 15 today. They want to get as much out of it as they can.
They're looking at you, Steph.
They are looking at me. I thought it was a game to 13, but they're playing still. It's 4 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go, so it should have been over, but they're letting them play.
Maybe we'll go back in time and play to 17.
Wondering about any results around the park. I'm not sure if we've got any updates, but might be able to get some. Canada was up on Germany 7-6, and an injury caused that game to end. I think time had gone into it, and sometimes injuries in these kind of games is enough to just say, yeah, we got what we needed out of this one. Let's call it and keep moving.
Yeah, these World Game teams especially going to have to really be managing their load. They do not want any teammates getting super badly injured ahead of the World Games later this summer.
Katma fires deep, has separation. That's a goal, and deep space extend the game with that dime.
Yeah, that's nice from deep space, kind of able to capitalize on perhaps a little bit of lackadaisical energy coming out from the super team. They won't be doing that again, I don't think. But a really nice deep strike from Bailey. Let's have a look here. Bailey's just on that end of the sideline, takes a hard step under, spins Kometsova, and Katma just puts out a really, really nice throw that Bailey has eyes on the whole way, commits it, nothing that Kometsova could do, and that is a nice, clean hold for space. Take a look at it again. Katma fires it, Bailey tracks it down really nicely. Beautiful wind this evening, just able to loft all those discs out. And that's a goal. 13-6, playing to 15 here. So deep space back on defense. I think a break here would really do something for the energy, kind of push them through to the end of the game as we see the Tokay super team out there. We've got Johnson Go, Mickael, Tam, Kularts, Dam, Tognetti and Legala. So we've got worldwide representation, 2 Italians, 2 Dutch, 1 Estonian, 1 Brit and 1 American.
Bit of a United Nations of Ultimate.
It's all gone very quiet here. Very quiet out on the fields at Grasshoppers Rugby Football Club, but the disc is in the air. We're underway. Super team on offense.
Mickael fires, the deep was gone. Johnson Go in position, and a great defensive play, but he got it somehow going down on the goal line, up and into Lola Dam. The glass is dangling on the back of his head. Runnies, Sunnies still working for Johnson Go to catch and keep it alive before throwing the assist.
You see Johnson really go. Haha, great pun from me there. Great work from Turner. That's a really nice read and a really aggressive attack, but Johnson Go just kind of takes it, touches his whole body on the way down, throws a quick one. Archie does stick an arm in there. See Mickael again in those little tiny shorts. Turner, good read, gets up early, rotates the body.
Ooh, just kept that off the grass.
See the grin on Johnson Go's face. Shocked that they caught it. Pleased they caught it. One of the two.
So 14-6 now. A chance to win, or game point for the Tokay super team.
A break to win.
Break to win, game point. Of course, if you're watching, thank you for being with us. We will have more action all day tomorrow. Today is Free Friendly Friday. Thank you guys all for tuning in, taking it all in for free. Watching these teams really work out the cobwebs. Tomorrow they will, the tournament begins, and you know, while some teams this is a prep tournament and cobwebs will be part of the game plan, for others it is all eyes on the championship from tomorrow onward. And if you want to get that more, make sure you hit the join button, hit the 3 dots in the top right corner, and find your way to the membership More London Invite. It will cost you $9.99 in euros as this one goes up and over. Eklund did just enough to close the space and make focus on that difficult. Buja quick to Dameron. Dameron fires. Leshnik the target. She is out in front, but Kodrin, what a play to take it away from Leshnik.
Here we go, Kodrin. Ruth with the absolute denial, swat away there, running shoulder to shoulder with Lesnick, just pops an arm out. The camera didn't quite catch it, but Kodrin did a dab then.
Love the dab. Squires to Kodrin. Kodrin goes wide. He's up Buja trying to wind up. Maybe the body was going to go, but not quite close enough. Kapma straight back to Fisher. And Fisher goes high. Halkyard takes it down. Halkyard to Fisher. Fisher leads forward. Ooh, just squeezes through, finds a seam. Halkyard. Up the line again. Sloan keeps it in. Waits for the flight path to come back, and there's Halkyard. And they'll live to play another point. 7-14 now.
It's a great recovery from deep space there to maintain the composure. Really, really nice offensive flow. Super team just trailing a little bit on defense. It's been a long day for them. Lots of media, lots of press, lots of photos being taken, and potentially the fatigue starting to set in now. Halkyard working really nicely with Sloan there. Some good footwork to just keep it in bounds, high disc, and then Halkyard comes all the way down from just throwing the throw to Sloan and just pops it in the end zone nicely. A really great bit of offense, but all generated by a really, really nice block from Kodrin against Leshnik, which, again, we mentioned that these games are kind of the games where people find their own personal highlights, and I bet that's going to be a highlight for both Ruth and the rest of the team.
Potential now for the last point, as you get a look at those stunning uniforms on the Tokay Super Team.
Not that you're biased.
No, not like I was entirely part of the jersey design. Do you know where the jersey design comes from?
Superman.
It's an Iron Man kind of background. I actually saw it on a Flash costume,
Okay.
not an Iron Man. Benji is shaking his head in the background. But it was. I can show the picture. Maybe I'll be able to put it in the chats one of these days. Tognetti goes to Mickael on the pull reception. He motions for the backhand, then delivers. Damn, big chunk of meters there. Up the line, Lagala. Lagala fires and hit. Oh, I thought it was automatic, but was a bit too far for Kometsova.
A bit too much heat on that throw from Dam after, Lagala, after getting really free. Kind of really sits into it and throws it out. Kometsova just kind of gets a hand to it. Maybe had a slightly wrong read on where the disc was going to go, committed to coming in early. But at the latter stages of this game, deep space with an opportunity to get a break. It's 14-7, Palmer on the disc. You see them doing a 2-5 vert stack with Turner being isolated at the front. Mickael guarding him with a nice little slash.
Turner to Palmer. Palmer low release, Andrews. Andrews tests the around, and Tognetti says, I wouldn't try that one. Goes the other way with a nice throw, but it's bobbled by Halkyard.
I would have liked to see Andrews take a reset earlier there. I think Palmer was working really, really hard to get free.
There's that IO backhand. Lagala, and Coulart rises above both and takes that one down. What a play by Flor Coulart, but also that throw, that is turning into a bit of vintage Lagala now, that step into the IO backhand. What a great throw to end this one. It's 15 now, and the Tokay Super Team take the win.
Yes, they do. And a great fight from deep space on this Friday evening. But Tokay Super Team still unbeaten, as you say. And there's a lot more Frisbee coming our way this weekend. So will they maintain that reputation, Steph?
Yes.
You heard it here first.
We will all find out at the same time, in fact. But you know where I stand. If not, go back and check the Instagram channel and follow through and get yourself well caught up. I'm sure you already have. That is the end of Free Friday. All streams done now. This is the last one. Thank you all for being with us. Again, if you haven't yet, get more in your life. Do it via YouTube membership. And make sure you're with us for all of the games tomorrow. For the ULTI.TV crew, for Amelia Durbin alongside, I've been Stefan Rapazzo. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Thanks.
ULTI.TV.